Casting is perhaps the single most underappreciated aspect of filmmaking, because when it's effortlessly done, it's just a given. These upcoming movies, regardless of how they turn out overall, have pulled off veritable casting coups by finding an actor to play each part who genuinely seems like the very best fit possible. I'm Ellie for What Culture, and these are 10 actors who are perfectly cast in upcoming movies. Number 10. Billy Zane as Marlon Brando in Waltzing with Brando. It's been said for literally decades that Billy Zane bears quite the physical resemblance to the late Marlon Brando, and this uncanny likeness has only become more noticeable as the actor has entered middle age. And so it's enormously fitting that Zayn has been cast to portray the Hollywood legend in Waltzing with Brando, a biopic focused on Brando's life between 1969 and 1972 as he prepared to star in both The Godfather and Last Tango in Paris. If you weren't yet convinced by Zayn's suitability for the part, some recent publicity stills and a revealed trailer absolutely clinch it. Zayn is the pure spitting image of Brando throughout, especially in a jaw-dropping sequence where the actor is under makeup while shooting The Godfather. Now, regardless of how the film turns out as a whole, it's tough to picture anyone being a better choice for this than Billy Zane, and fingers are certainly crossed that it might result in something of a career resurgence for the Titanic star. Number 9. Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Before Shadow the Hedgehog had even been teased in the post-credits scene of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, many actively campaigned for Keanu Reeves to voice the fan-favourite character when he was inevitably introduced to the franchise. And given the filmmakers' tendency to actually listen to fans, per their decision to rework the original Sonic film's widely mocked Sonic design and even delay the movie's release in the process, they did precisely that. Beyond enjoying a major career resurgence over the past decade, courtesy of the John Wick franchise, Reeves' aloof, stoic vocal delivery just feels like a perfect fit for the hilariously not self-aware edgelord that is Shadow. The trailers certainly seem to confirm that Reeves thoroughly understood the assignment, and just might give fans the definitive portrayal of the character, ensuring this seems to be a rare case of a fan cast both actually happening and impressively turning out for the best. Number 8. Ana de Armas as Eve Macaro in Ballerina. Though John Wick's spin-off Ballerina has suffered through a fairly tumultuous production, with substantial reshoots lasting up to 3 months, there's at least no doubt that Ana de Armas is going to eat the central part alive. De Armas will play Eve Macaro, a ballerina who is training to become an assassin, and we need look no further than her show-stealing supporting performance in No Time to Die to appreciate how brilliantly suited she is to a role like this. She's proven herself highly capable of kicking ass in glamorous clothing and looking great while doing it. Not to ignore her considerable screen charisma as well, which should ensure that her interactions with John Wick himself are a hoot, no matter how brief they might be. The filmmakers are evidently happy with de Armas's work in the role, as producer Erica Lee revealed last year that the actress is already being courted to reprise her part in a potential sequel. Number 7. Bill Skarsgard as Count Orlock in Nosferatu. Robert Eggers' Nosferatu remake had some tough shoes to fill with casting the actor to portray vampire Count Orlock, given the utterly iconic prior renditions of the character by Max Schreck, Klaus Kinski, and Willem Dafoe, who even received an Oscar nomination for his efforts. But Eggers was smart to cast Bill Skarsgard in the part. For though the marketing has shown only fleeting glimpses of Orlock, Skarsgard's prior success playing Pennywise the Dancing Clown in the It duology confirms his aptitude for disappearing into the role of a terrifying monster. The shadowy glimpses that we've seen of Skarsgard in character sell his performance already, while Eggers suggests that he's not only going to be unrecognizable in the role, but he's going to do something totally different with it, in turn making it wholly his own. Now, we know that the actor lost a significant amount of weight for the part and has spent 6 hours per day in the makeup chair, and if early critical reactions are any indication, all that toil has most definitely been worth it. Number 6. Carl Urban as Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat. With 2021's Mortal Kombat reboot teasing the presence of Johnny Cage in the sequel, fans immediately began speculating who might be cast in such an iconic role. And last year, The Boys' Karl Urban was confirmed to be playing the egomaniacal martial artist movie star. While Urban might seem like a more natural fit for the vulgar Keanu, who was nevertheless played quite brilliantly by Josh Lawson in the previous film, Urban's sheer magnetic charisma as an actor and gruff badassery should make him a snug fit for Johnny Cage. Urban may not be a vaunted martial artist, but he'll absolutely bring the requisite humour and ass-kicking qualities required to do the part justice. And then some. It's vitally important that Cage be a lovable a-hole, and given Urban's success playing the very same type of character on The Boys, there's no doubt whatsoever that he'll knock this part out of the damn park. Number 5, Pamela Anderson as Shelly in The Last Showgirl. The Last Showgirl is the latest drama from Gia Coppola, yes, the granddaughter of Francis Ford, and it stars Pamela Anderson as Shelly, a veteran Las Vegas showgirl who is forced to reckon with her future after the closure of her show. Early reviews have likened the film to The Wrestler, with Anderson's role clearly being a self-reflexive one, meditating on her own career decline after entering middle age. And in that respect, it appears to be flawless casting, the trailer suggesting that Anderson gives a totally honest, unvarnished and vanity-free performance like we've never seen from her before. While the film's low-key distribution likely won't rustle up much awards buzz, this is certainly one hell of a career comeback for someone who, let's be honest, is famous less for their acting chops than their appearance. But Coppola's film seems to be using that fact wholly to its advantage, allowing Anderson to surprise us all with a mighty dramatic performance as she enters a new phase of her career. Number 4, Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin Jr. in The Naked Gun. It's certainly easy to be skeptical about a remake of classic comedy The Naked Gun, because the late, great Leslie Nielsen was the franchise, his distinctive brand of deadpan comedy being basically impossible to replicate. But the new take made the intriguing choice to cast Liam Neeson in the role of Frank Drebin Jr., the son of Nielsen's protagonist from the original run of movies. Like Nielsen, Neeson is a predominantly dramatic actor, whose stoicism actually makes him a pretty damn perfect fit to play a po-faced part like this. Plus, as his supporting performance in the likes of Ted 2, A Million Ways to Die in the West, and the Lego Movie have proven, he's got some seriously underappreciated comedic chops. As long as Neeson plays the part with his signature brand of gravity, there's every reason for his performance to be worthy of Nielsen's peerless prior work. Number 3, Tom Holland as Fred Astaire in a Fred Astaire biopic. While there is an annoying tendency for Hollywood to shove popular young actors into a host of buzzy roles that they're ultimately ill-suited for, that could not be further from the truth with Tom Holland's casting in Paul King's upcoming biopic of singer, dancer and actor Fred Astaire. Even if you ignore the fact that Holland does bear a solid resemblance to a younger Astaire, he came to prominence for playing the title character in Billy Elliot the Musical from 2008 to 2010, which required Holland to pull triple duty as a singer, a dancer, and as an actor. Side note, Billy Elliot is by far my most favourite musical that I've ever seen. Just saying. But more to the point, Billy Elliot prominently features tap dancing. And what style of dance was Astaire well known for performing? Yep, that's right, tap dancing. This really feels like a faultless fusion of player and part, rather than filmmakers cynically, even awkwardly, casting an A-lister in an Oscar-baiting biopic role that they're not quite right for. And if that's not persuasive enough, the film is also being co-written by Billy Elliot writer Lee Hall. Number 2, Skyler Gazzondo as Jimmy Olsen in Superman. Though James Gunn faces quite the challenge to do something fresh and original with Superman, he certainly made a ton of interesting and exciting casting decisions. And honestly, none seem quite so on the money as bringing the righteous gemstone Skyler Gazzondo on board to play the Daily Planet's plucky young photographer Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy is of course one of the most recognizable characters in Superman lore, yet genuinely source-faithful depictions of the character in Superman movies are few and far between. But on pure appearance alone, the red-haired, freckly Gando is a perfect fit for the character. And it certainly doesn't hurt that he has a history of playing cheesy goofballs in both film and TV, ensuring he should be an effortlessly charming, likeable Jimmy. In an era where most major comic book movie castings invite exhausting controversies, it's telling that the internet pretty much collectively said, yep, 10 out of 10, no notes, without dissent, when Gando was cast as Jimmy. Number 1. Ralph Ineson as Galactus in the Fantastic Four First Steps. The Marvel Cinematic Universe's The Fantastic Four First Steps will see the titular foursome take on one of their most iconic foes, the space god Galactus. And given that the prior live-action depiction of Galactus as a cloud in Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer was widely loathed by fans, this new take is basically duty-bound to bring a more human presence to the role. And that Marvel Studios has certainly done, with the recent announcement that the great Ralph Ineson will be portraying the supervillain. Now, while it's fair to assume that Galactus will be a primarily CGI character, Ineson's unmistakably gravely voice feels like a note-perfect fit for the big bad, ensuring that if nothing else, he's going to make a far more impactful impression than he did in his prior cinematic iteration. If you need an actor to command the screen with their voice, you don't have many better choices than this guy, so to say that they've nailed the Galactus casting is quite the understatement indeed.